Hugo, thank you so much for hosting us at Diamond Disc International. I know it's a lot of work, but a lot of good work goes on here. And you all know hard work here. So Hugo, thanks to you, your family, and your team for putting in the work to host us here. It's really important. I am excited to be back here in Wisconsin, right back here in Milwaukee. Thank you, Mayor. Where's the Mayor? Thank you, Mayor, for greeting me at the airport to your beautiful city. Thanks for all you do. And State Representative Haywood, you're here as well. Thank you, and all the other leaders here. I've met a lot of you so far. Thanks for being here. We really, really appreciate it. I'm here to talk about Kamala's plans for an opportunity economy, but before I get to that, I want to address a couple of important things that are happening in the news right now. First, this is a difficult day with the events unfolding in the Middle East, and the Southeast is still recovering from devastation from Hurricane Helene. The Vice President just spoke about the attacks on Israel. She and the President spent most of the day in the Situation Room and monitoring Iranian attacks against Israel. In her remarks, she condemned the attack unequivocally and noted that with the assistance of the United States military, Israel appears to have defeated the assault. She added that the United States will continue to work with our allies to hold Iran accountable. Meanwhile, intensive efforts to aid hurricane recovery continue. As the governors of the affected states have said, the administration is working hand in hand with them to make sure that they have all the resources that they need. Kamala was at FEMA headquarters yesterday for a briefing, and tomorrow she will head to Augusta, Georgia, and North Carolina later in the week. President Biden will be visiting North Carolina and South Carolina tomorrow as well. The President and Vice President are committed to being with these communities for the long haul, far beyond the emergency response phase. The work of rebuilding local economies will take a long time, and Kamala has made clear that she will be there for them for the long haul. So let's get to today's event. Today is the launch of Small Business for Harris Walls. And what better place to be here than a business like Diamond Disc? And I'm also just so honored to be with my friend, the Honorable Gina Raimondo. Wasn't she great? She was amazing. And just to talk about how Kamala is working to expand this opportunity economy for everyone. So I come to this as a business lawyer, but also have my own small firm for 7 or 8 years. So I know what it's like to have a small business and what it's like to represent small businesses. And as second gentleman, I have had the honor to visit small businesses all across our great country for almost 4 years now. Just last week, we were at a coffee roastery in North Carolina. And this weekend, we went to the headquarters of Columbia Sportswear in Portland. And everywhere we go, it's the same thing. People are ready for Kamala to be President of the United States. Ready for somebody who understands them, somebody who understands the economy, somebody who actually cares about you and brings real solutions to the table. A president who represents the best of America, positive vision for the future, a vision where all of us have a place. And that's my wife, Kamala Harris. That's what I was going to say, joyful warrior. That's right. So you see the joyful warrior out on the campaign trail. From her incredible DNC convention speech, wasn't that incredible? The energy of her rallies, her optimism about America. You've seen all that on full display. You've seen that joy. But you've also seen the warrior side of Kamala Harris. She is taking the fight directly to Donald Trump, right to his face. And it's no surprise he's ducking a second debate, because she kicked his ass at that first debate. So we need a president whose toughness is actually real, not just this reality TV fake tough guy routine. Aren't we sick of that fake tough guy routine? Come on. Last week, Kamala gave an economic speech that laid out her plans for this opportunity economy where everyone has a chance to compete and succeed. Support for small businesses is at the center of her economic vision because she knows the value of small business to the communities and the value of workers and the value of what you all bring to the table. Just meeting some of the other small business owners before this, with Ugo and your colleagues, what were we talking about? They were talking about the impact of their businesses on this community right here and trying to lift up others to get ahead as well. That's what it's all about. So Kamala Harris, she is a capitalist. She is pro-growth. She's pro-innovation, pro-technology. She's pro-business, but she also supports workers. And guess what? All these things can be true at the same time. You heard Gina Raimondo say that as well. This is how you build an economy that works for everyone. She spent her entire career working for us in public service. But as a capitalist, she also knows the limitations of government. As a pragmatic person, she has always sought out good ideas from wherever they can be found, whether it's in the public sector or the private sector. And I've seen this firsthand. When I first met her, after that infamous blind date, she was in her first term as Attorney General of California. And I was, like I said, a business lawyer. I owned my own firm for several years, as I mentioned. I know how challenging it can be to have a small business. I didn't sleep much. I worried a lot. I worried about my clients, but I also worried about those folks working at my firm and all the folks who depended on us. A lot of folks needed help. And as a business owner, you also have to worry about your community and your vendors and other businesses because it's all interrelated. So I never had to explain this to Kamala when I met her. She knew the intricacies and the value of what I did as a business person and as a business lawyer. Because as California Attorney General, and then as a Senator of California, she represented all the interests in one of the largest economies in the world: tech, entertainment, financial institutions, agriculture, real estate. Had it all there, and she was representing all those interests. I've also been in meetings with her, with business folks, whether it's CEOs, union leaders, workers, worker representatives, small business owners, teachers, people from the AI industry, people from the space industry, you name it. I've been in those meetings with her. And she gets it. She's always making these connections. She's always connecting all these dots and trying to come up with practical solutions, practical, pragmatic solutions. When I would travel the country as second gentleman and I'd get home, she would invariably say, "Dougie, how was your day? Who did you meet and who did you talk to and what did they say?" And so this is when we ended up talking about you and businesses like this one, Ugo. And we talk about what we literally just talked about. How do we ease red tape? How do we provide more access to capital for small businesses? How do we get more workers? How do we train these workers? Where are these workers going to live? We talked about affordable housing. And then we also talked about generational wealth. How do you go from just renting your business in the building to owning it and expanding and growing it out and leaving something behind? That's the kind of stuff I picked up on the road, and that's the kind of stuff we talked about when she asked Dougie, "How was your day?" And these chats just aren't small talk for Kamala. She dives in, she absorbs everything, she connects all those dots, like I said. And then you can see the results in the economic plan that she has put forth. This plan has 3 pillars. 1, first, lowering costs. This would give over $100 million a tax cut, not just a small percentage of billionaires, many of whom don't want it. They know it's not good for the economy. And that includes a $6,000 child tax credit in the first year of a child's life, which is so important to help Americans meet the cost of starting families. And as Gina Raimondo said, and Hugo said, if companies are not acting the right way, such as price gouging on food and groceries, well, she's got a plan for that too. We can't have that. She believes in business, but she's also going to hold companies accountable, just like she's done her whole career if they're ripping us off. We can't have that. As president, she's going to continue to expand on her success in the Biden administration, capping insulin at $35 per month for those on Medicare. She wants to extend that to all Americans and to continue the work in lowering prices of medication and all drugs. She has a plan to address the affordable housing crisis, because so much of that impacts your business's ability to grow. She wants to build 3 million new homes, and she wants to offer a $25,000 down payment assistance for first-time homebuyers. This is huge. The second pillar is investing in innovation and entrepreneurship. She set a goal of 25 million new businesses in her first term, and that's building on a record 19 million new businesses applications in her term as vice president. And to make it easier to start a business, she's going to extend what is now only a $5,000 tax credit to $50,000, because we know it costs more than $5,000 to start a business. And I love when she was on Oprah, when she told Oprah, $5,000, that's just a concept of a business. Just like Trump's concept of a plan on his goal to take your health care away. She's been working on for 10 years. She also knows that access to capital is a big hurdle to entrepreneurs, and she has worked to fix that. Under the Biden-Harris administration, SBA lending to minority business has more than doubled. By the end of her first term as president, at least 1/3 of federal contract dollars will go to small businesses. So we're going to grow the success of the Biden-Harris administration and keep that growing in the Harris-Walz administration. The third pillar of her plan builds on the progress of this administration to make sure that America is leading the world in the industries of the future. Biden-Harris has set a new foundation for our economy through historic investments in infrastructure, clean energy, and bringing chip manufacturing right back here to the United States. She's going to continue that. She's going to continue to build on that work so we, the United States, can own the next generation of technology. And a lot of that work is going to come right here to Wisconsin. She's also led on issues like AI and space, and there's a lot on the commercial applications there. So that will continue to help grow this opportunity economy so we, the United States, with her leadership, can win the 21st century. So I was told that Trump is in town today. So I'm glad I can just set the record straight on who is actually better for the economy. So there's this myth, this illusion, that Trump was actually a good businessman. Exactly. And that he was good on the economy when he was president. So both are not true. Both are illusions. Let's look at the facts. When he was president, he was the first president since Herbert Hoover. So we're going back to 1920s Depression era United States to leave office with fewer jobs than when he started. The tax cuts to billionaires, it cost us dearly. It added $8.4 trillion, that's with a T, $8.4 trillion to the national debt, which is just a burden for all of us. And according to nonpartisan experts, with what he's proposing to continue the tax cuts for those who don't need it, would add another about $6 trillion if he got another term. Right, I see everyone looking at me. That's not good. We know he failed on the economy when he was president. But what is he even talking about, if you can make it out, if he ever comes back? He has tried to give speeches on the economy, but most of the time he's just saying horribly racist and misogynistic things, insults, and scapegoating immigrants. That's literally pretty much what he's talking about. It's his favorite topic. But when you can parse together what he's saying on the economy, it appears that he will continue these massive tax cuts for those who don't need it. And then, as Gina Raimondo said, a massive sales tax through these tariffs, which just means you're paying more needlessly for things, which would basically be about $4,000 extra per family in the entire country. So let's just call it out. It's a $4,000 Trump sales tax that nobody wants. And he's promising to do this like he is wont to do, with or without Congress's approval. You know, dictator on day one, you're not going to need elections anymore. This Donald Trump. This is the guy who said he will just put these tariffs through and just making up numbers. And he'll impose those. It'll be devastating to our economy. Moody's has predicted, nonpartisan source, that it would trigger a recession immediately, almost immediately in 2025. So the contrast is so clear: competence versus cowardice. You know, working for us instead of just working for himself and who knows who else. So it's no surprise that the business community is getting behind Kamala. Small businesses like Ugo all over the country are getting behind Kamala, but more than 90 CEOs of major corporations and business leaders have endorsed her. And Mark Cuban, listen to what Mark Cuban is saying. He is an actual businessman, an actual billionaire who has succeeded in lots of different things. He has made a great case for why Kamala is the right choice on the economy. Goldman Sachs has said the GDP growth and job growth will go way up. I'm pointing up. In a Harris presidency, and I'm pointing way down if Trump ever gets back. We have, I think, over 400 economic experts who've also said the same thing, and this is on a bipartisan basis. So she's going to create a community that works for all of us, is forward-looking, is going to invest in technology, innovation, and all the things that make this country what it is, makes this country so great. She also knows that we've got to come together. All the division and all the hatred spewing out of Donald Trump's mouth on a minute-by-minute basis, this dystopian view of our great nation, we don't want that. Like, can you imagine, remember what it was like last time? You know, in the middle of the night, if your phone was right there, you almost didn't want to look at it. You didn't want to see what it said. You feel that pit in your stomach. We don't want to feel that way anymore. Listen to what Kamala is saying. Because she knows we have so much more in common than what divides us, right? And her candidacy has really excited the country. Because when she got up there in mid-July, when President Biden decided to not go forward with his campaign, she got up there when we really needed somebody to step up, and she did it. And she said she was going to earn the nomination, check. She said she was going to unite the Democratic Party, check. And then she said she was going to unite the country and then win. So on Unite the Country, she's getting there. Because look at the endorsements we've gotten. We go from Bernie Sanders and AOC all the way to Dick and Liz Cheney. We've got a big tent going here. Republican former Senator Jeff Flake just endorsed her. He said there is nothing more conservative than putting country over party. And retired General Stanley McChrystal wrote, he's voting, or he already voted, for Kamala Harris based on her character and her leadership abilities and her willingness to put our country first and stand with our allies. Liz Cheney, essentially said her and Kamala may not agree on every policy issue, but they agree on the big things, who we are as Americans, our Constitution, our rule of law, our democratic ideals, all those things that make us great. It also makes our economy great. She has gotten the endorsement from 741 former high-ranking national security officers, including 15 retired 4-stars, generals and admirals. Why? Because she is a leader. She is ready to be commander-in-chief. She doesn't have to train to be a leader. She already is one. She already is a leader on the world stage. And she is ready to be commander-in-chief, as we saw again today, of the most effective and most lethal fighting force in the history of our world. And she is ready to lead it on day one. This is not just the most important election of our lifetimes. This is the most important election of our country's lifetime. It really is. This is it, folks. This is the election where we need to all step up. We all need to come through. She stepped up when we needed a leader, and she has been exceeding the highest expectations each and every step of the way, and she's going to continue to do that for the next 35 days. So just like she's been there for us, we got to be there for her. We got to be there for her right now. And so many of the things that are coming out of the mouths of Trump and J.D. Vance, who's going up against Governor Walz tonight in the debate, the things that they're talking about, taking away rights, voting rights, reproductive freedom, the tax cuts for billionaires, Project 2025, the hate, the division, the just not adhering to our rules, our rule of law, our standards, all these things that are out there that just are infuriating. Doesn't it just make you mad? Doesn't it just piss you off? Well, you should be. So let's stay mad for the next 35 days, channel that anger into action so we can make sure that she wins this election. Because we have no choice. And just between us, even when I say, hey, did you see us on Saturday Night Live on Saturday? She said, no, I'm working. And you need to get back out there on the road. So it's just a lot of discipline and focus in our household right now. We'll watch it, on November 6th when we'll have some more time. But right now we got to stay locked in. We don't have time for any distractions. We can't get distracted. Although it was pretty funny, I will say. I watched it. So she's doing her part. Governor Walz is doing his part, so we got to do our part too. As Gina said, we got work to do here in all these swing states, including here in Wisconsin. It should not be close, but it is unfortunately, so we got to do the work and have her back. So you know why you're here. So Wisconsin, you got to get out through this entire state, spread the word, tell them all why you're supporting Kamala Harris. You know why you're doing it. And just go to those offices, knock on those doors, make those phone calls. It really matters. Every single vote is going to matter here in Wisconsin. So don't take anyone for granted. Make sure everyone knows how to register. Make sure you all know the rules. And make sure you get registered, you get out to vote, and we'll get this done. Michelle Obama did say, I got another Michelle quote, because do something was a great one. You're all here doing it. But she also said that we need to vote in numbers that erase any doubt and overwhelm any effort to suppress us. And why did she say that? Because that's what they're going to try to do. So we gotta win, and we gotta win big, so we don't have to mess around with all the stuff we know that they're going to start to throw at us. But if they do, we're definitely going to be ready for it. All right, 35 days. I'm going to continue to do what I'm doing, run through walls. I'm going to crawl through glass. I'm going to do everything I got to do. Focus, discipline. I'm not going to watch anything funny on TV. And after this is all over, I'm going to look at my wife. I'm going to say, hey, honey, you're the President of the United States. That's pretty cool. Thank you all. I appreciate it.